Did you know nothing goes off without a hitch? Not here. Not here. Welcome. Welcome to SHAGCast number 3. We're talking a whole bunch of stuff tonight. Jack Tarled's in the house. He's hanging out. Uh, Love It Ever After is here. Gonna chill a bit before bed. Hey, appreciate you. And Arkasol's here. Yo, yo, he says. Yo. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back for the third episode of SHAGCast, and hopefully this is one of hundreds of these. I really like doing the solo stuff. I don't really get a chance to do much solo stuff. I stick to the group content usually. King, what's going on, man? Good to see you. But I think it's important to jump in and talk about things just on my own and give you guys my side of it all, because that's all that matters. No, of course not. We got some lovely shows all week long. This week we have, I think Brahma Bull's going to be joining us tomorrow night after he's done with Thursday night. I think he's going to be joining us, tomorrow after his show on Wednesday with Comics Division. And then I believe we have Stuttering Craig for, wow, I can't even think, for Ready, Set, Shag. My brain just stopped there for a second. But I appreciate you, anyone who's hanging out over on Twitter, Twix, anyone who's here on YouTube, appreciate you being here. But a lot of stuff happening and popping up in the news that I thought would be worthy of discussing. You guys have heard some of it already, but we'll see what happens. Hubby says P. Diddy put a hit on Tupac. That could be. Do I smell toast? I don't think so. I smell good coffee. You came for the beard, and no, that's not gray hairs. You know what's great about this? What's great about the camera is they don't show off my grays as much as they do in real life. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome that I don't have to worry too much about the grays popping out. Or I guess, I don't know. Maybe. What do you think? What do you guys think? Do I have too much gray hair? Can you see my gray hair? Let's take a look at what we got in in the news. Really, I mean, a really big thing that I want to kind of focus on. I guess we can talk about essentially P. Diddy first. Sean P. Diddy Combs, his home was raided by federal agents. We all know that at this point. Everyone's seen it. And I think a lot of people are surprised. And I would say pretty guilty. Right now, pretty guilty. I don't like to do the guilty for P did it. Yeah. P did it. I think that's what it seems like, guys. That's what it seems like. I hate to say it, but it's looking like P did it, bro. Here, I'm pulling up a couple of things here. Let me get in my thing. Hypnotic, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you cruising by. Arkasul and Emperor Doomsday both just became sponsors. Appreciate you guys very much. Nuclear, good to see you as well. Yeah, Hypnotic's killing it, dude. Hypnotic's fucking awesome. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate everyone here. Did you see his house on TV? I thought there was racism everywhere in America, right? Well, I thought that here, let's have a look see here. Can we bring this full? Wow. Let's have a look at what the allegations are according to Fox News. It's something else, folks. It's something else. Share my screen. Okay. Let's have a look.
Holmes, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now, we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here.
Damn, like this is one of those things, guys. Like you see stuff like this. I'm sorry, but this is no joke. This isn't like the Men in Black or the Men in Blue knocking on your door and being like, excuse me, we have reason to believe something might be here. We believe that something might be happening here. Could Mr. Combs, would you mind if we came in and talk to you about some allegations that may link you to something awful? No, this was like these guys were ready to throw it. You see this? This is serious.
Just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up the street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats, and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment.
So Bad Boy Entertainment is his company. So the home that they're in, like, so he's involved, probably owns the property where some sort of trafficking is happening. And the guy leaves the country, makes it to a non-extradition country outside of the US, obviously. I'm no expert, but I I don't know, man. And I don't know. I think John D says, but how did they conveniently let him fly his plane, private jet, out of the country? I mean, you can't keep an eye on everything. I mean, it just depends on if they're expecting him to be home. There's only so much you can control. Um, maybe it wasn't something they expected. Maybe somehow he got the drop on it and was able to get to his airport and get out. It's really hard to say, but what I would say too is that it's like whoever's flying him out of the country and who's with him in the plane is in some serious shit. They're not coming back to the U.S. either. It's gonna be tough to get him back. So Arkansas says, remember how they did the same thing to Jake Paul? Hauled out a shit ton of guns, if memory serves. P. Diddy probably has a shit ton more. Well, I mean, the allegations are, I think it's like human trafficking. Like not good, man. This is when you need James Bond. No, don't no. No, that's what the new James Bond movie is about. They're filming it right now. And it's about the new James Bond's going to go to Venezuela to get to extract P. Diddy to the US. Oh, one of his daughters?
The home. One of the first things they did was made their way into this garage that you see is open right there. Now, they did take a couple people into custody. We witnessed that. Now, are they under arrest? Are they just being asked about what they know? That I can't answer, but I can tell you there's 3 people right there that were taken into custody, were inside that home at the time of the raid.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Nuclear. You step on their toes, you're cutting into their profits. No way. Yeah, man, this isn't good. I mean, you have to know that this is about as bad as it gets for anybody in anything. And one of the issues I have with a lot of this stuff is like, you get a lot of people, I feel like, coming out of the woodwork, and I couldn't say specifically, this is just me talking out of my ass, I guess, to some extent. A lot of people are like, oh, I knew it. Like, okay, whatever you say. But I know that whatever is going on, I do know that whatever is going on is serious. People, I mean, government agents don't just show up at your house like that without something being completely, like, really wrong and off the rails. Just doesn't. Diana, I don't think they found anything yet. He's under a big investigation and he has left the country. So they didn't get him. I think that's the goal, was to apprehend him, and he left the country in his private jet. So it does seem sketch to me that there's this sudden concern for those prosecuting this investigation. Yeah, I mean, people like child trafficking and human trafficking in general is something that should be taken very seriously. And if it was happening, and like these are cases that are built over years, right? Like this didn't just pop up. It wasn't just a rumor that someone heard and then they show up with a bunch of M16s and all the gear. Like that's not how this works, right? This is something that's built up over time. They reach a certain point and they're ready to get in and say, hey, they're here, they're home. This is the time we need to get in there and catch them. And unfortunately, it's not happening. TMZ had a video of him at the airport before he left. Oh, really? Well, I mean, if the paparazzi is out looking for people, they see him. So unless they're calling, like, hey, you're being, like, if the two can be disconnected, because TMZ is just looking for celebrities most of the time. So, Diana, I believe this is all around like children and humans, as far as I know right now. I was looking at the thread from Benny here. Diddy Combs' home is raided and new accuser steps forward. Oh, writer says Sean Diddy Combs raped her in the 90s. Graped, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. I'm not sure what to expect from this. I get the feeling in some respects that it's something that we won't hear anything about after this. Like it might be something that goes by the wayside for a while. And if he's in a non-extradition country, it's not exactly easy to get him back. Will the other country cooperate? Does the other country know where he is? Et cetera, et cetera. But these are people who have an extreme amount of power. Like money is power. Make no mistake about it. You have enough money and you can do pretty much anything. You can buy your way out of things and buy people's trust, their silence. There's very few people who are willing to stand up against what's like really, really wrong. And this is something that probably just came, this is something likely started with someone who was brave enough to step up and find a way to get some information out. But who knows? You think he's going to come back and drive around in a white Bronco? God, I hope so. God, I hope so. We need some real entertainment, some real-time entertainment. Imagine how many other countries do not get prosecuted for the same crime and or allegations. Yeah. Yeah, the government can seize your money. Yeah. I don't know what this, I mean, this just stinks to high hell. They must have something really bad on him. I just can't imagine like what it is that is happening or what happened. It has to be bad. It has to be bad. Just because you don't have an extradition agreement, it doesn't mean they won't cooperate with you. No, exactly, John. That's the thing is a lot of these countries, sometimes these countries will just cooperate. And again, if they know where that person is, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But certainly, I think this was a huge surprise to most people. I don't, again, I don't spend any time looking into a lot of these celebrity pasts, but P. Diddy is someone I forgot about probably about 10, 15 years ago. Didn't really know what he was up to. Figured he was just retired and doing his thing, which obviously he was doing something. But hey, love it. Appreciate you stopping by. Cheers, man. Have a great night. Yeah, he was quiet. Yeah. Kanye's just crazy. Like he's smart but crazy, Kanye just he doesn't know when to stop talking. Which maybe that's good. Maybe that's like, by being so insane and out there. It's like, oh well, we'll chalk that up as crazy. Maybe something will come out on him years down the road. I realize that this hoodie has become like my thing. I should come up with a design for it. What's his deal with the girlfriend being naked everywhere with him? I don't know, man. I think that's just some people's like shtick. Like, what's his name? Like Kid Cudi now just like wears dresses everywhere. Like that must be like he wears like weird clothing that makes him all like big and like looks like a pulp like a orange or something, like a inflated balloon. And she wears no clothes. So, to each their own. But like that's like Kanye, I think, knows how to play the game. Kanye just knows how to play the game. Just be the most ridiculous, most crazy person in the room at all times, and you'll be fine. That's what he does. That's what he does. But in some fashion, he's like he knows what he's doing. Quick aside, shameless plug. We're gonna go over to. You want to support the channel? You can head over to my Teespring store. It's got a crazy little link. But if you want to pick up some merch and support me in another way, we got t-shirts, stickers, coffee mugs, and hoodies and hats. Pick some up for your loved ones. Rock it at the Vegas meetup if you'd like. But if you want to support the channel another way, check out my store as soon as you can and check out some merch. We got this brand new awesome design for the midweek hump right here. Pour yourself a cup of Joe, or maybe fight off the very best shows on YouTube with your Dare to Be midweek hump. I want merch, but I don't want to pay though. I think I might try and get a couple and then bring some with me to Vegas if I can. Ooh, that's rough, Grant. I'll have to try and find something and get something printed for you and then send it your way. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, guys, that's the link in the YouTube chat. Get yourself something. Support the channel. Okay. What were we talking about? Good to see you, Grant. Good to see you, brother. So what I do want to look at here, someone I really respect is Clifton Duncan. So Clifton, if you guys don't know, is a classically trained Broadway actor who had a lot of stuff happen with him during the early days of the coup and getting Jacksonated. and lost a lot of his contacts and some of the issues in Hollywood, some of his contacts in Hollywood. But one of his recent tweets I wanted to comment and elaborate more on because I thought it was worth doing, and you guys kind of understanding where I'm coming from with this. But so he says their culture warriors, poets, actors, singers, athletes, painters, dancers, rappers, novelists, sculptors, musicians, illustrators, comedians, playwrights, screenwriters, and more. Our culture warriors, podcasters. Now, I think on the surface, it's a good tweet. I don't necessarily think he's wrong, but here's where I think there's a silver lining to it all. I don't think normal people are looking at all of these individuals listed and following their lead. I think more people are listening to podcasters now, especially now. They're listening to podcasters and they're just listening. And they're hearing what someone like Joe Rogan is saying, or they're hearing what someone like Eric Weinstein is saying, or me, or Gary, or whoever. And they're thinking, I understand. I can, and Mr. Grant Gregory. And I think there's understanding a broader spectrum of opinions. Because these people here, Hollywood and the like, are people who a lot of us have lost faith in, or we look at and say, that's a different class of people. It's a totally different, like, who are they? They're not us. They're not us waking up every day and getting our kids ready for school and working all day long, trying to put food on the table. It's a completely different class of people. They don't have any idea of what like really is happening in the world. Like I said, I respect the hell out of Clifton Duncan, but I think maybe at one point this list really meant something. But I think it's meaning less and less. And I think that's hopeful. I think people should look at that as a good thing and not be too black-pilled. Like it's easy to black pill. Easy to black pill on Twitter. And it's profitable, by the way. But this, like I believe deep in my core that people are listening. They're thinking who makes the most sense to me? Who is talking it out? Like when you I mean, even there's podcasts though, guys. Like seriously, you listen to podcasts. Fast talkers, be careful. There's that guy, right? What the hell is his name? He's always talking about something that you can take to, like he's always on stage talking about, take your ice baths and take this and your hydrogen water and all this stuff. He's a hack, dude. I think Arch says, I don't think this is blackpilling in the slightest. It's being a realist. Maybe. I think too much realism sometimes can. No, it's not the Liver King, but people like him, like fast talkers, you got to be careful of because they're there to make clips and they're there to make money really fast. They're not meant to withstand the test of time. Liver King's not trying to like really make people healthy in the long run. You understand that, right? He doesn't give a shit if you're healthy or not. He cares if you're buying his bullshit supplements or eating liver or whatever that is. So people, in my opinion, I think people are keyed into what's going on, and that whole list of people is they're influential because their reach is there. They're always in front of people. But normal people are the real influence. And this is kind of where I wanted to elaborate on things is that there's a lot to say about this one thing. And Ark wants to fight. So I'll okay, let's go with what you're saying. What What are the podcasters doing? What impact are they having besides sitting in front of a camera asking for super chats? Okay, so those aren't podcasters. I'm talking about people who are really talking about stuff and are having long form long form conversations. You're thinking, I understand who you're talking about, and I don't want you to mix up the two. So you're right. So I think those would go under the fast talkers, right? So people like I said, people like Joe Rogan, who again, he's the extreme example because he does. I mean, he's been at it for years. He's been at it for a decade, but he's talking to people who he likes, who he doesn't like. But yeah, the people who are sitting in front of the camera and like constantly asking for super chats, that's a fast talker. They're telling people what they want to hear. They're saying things that's like funny. They're trying to clip up everything. It's really hard to clip up the long format conversations because there's so much being said. It obviously can be done. Mr. Grant Gregory adds in, podcasters talk to people about the issues. There are plenty of mental health podcasts, gardening podcasts, being a single father podcast. It's not just a broad blanket. Yeah. All of those things. There's so many people out there talking. And I think there's a lot of normal people who look at those as influencers, real influencers. I don't think normal people are looking at Hollywood as their culture warriors. I think those people are trying to be culture warriors, and I think they're failing miserably at it. And I think we see that happening now. We're starting to see that whole list sort of like crumble because the foundation on which they're built is so shitty, right? I think we can all agree it's not looking good for Hollywood. It's not looking good for like woke comedians or screenwriters. I haven't seen like rappers that are really pushing the message or anything, but actors, they certainly spend a lot of time. There's plenty of educators. I think the biggest problem might be educators, at the higher levels of education and even the lowest levels, because kids are very impressionable at young ages. I think too many people are doing reaction videos to the same videos and aren't really offering anything beneficial. This is something for real. Again, fast talking, clip culture reactions are very, very profitable. It's easy to fall into, but like there's people in the fellowship space, and tangentially and all over they are reacting, but they're offering something in return, right? So like the critical drinker is a really great example of this. He's someone who can look at a movie analytically, but also add in some fun reactionary commentary about it all, right? That's why he's really, really good at what he does. He's really good at what he does. And some of the guys in the fellowship are the same way. They can add some critical analysis on what's happening, but also add in sort of a deep dive on why this is bad because of their past experience within the field, whatever field, comics, writing, movies, etc. Busted Knuckle says, I don't look at podcasters as influencers. They are entertainment, new TV. Granted, some people really fall for said influencers. Yeah, it just depends. And again, I was going to say, and this is something I want to sort of like kind of bounce into, is that people this is the next part of that conversation, Busted Knuckle and chat. When people watch and or listen to all these podcasts, they're taking in information that they're interested in, and it allows them to navigate the space of their own life in their journey. And I think from there, people can see the good and the bad that they do within their own community. And then you start to see normies influencing normies. Because if I'm being perfectly honest, I think some of the best influencers on the planet you've never heard of. Why? Because they're people that are just hidden within your community. Or maybe you know them, but they're not famous because you have lunch with them all the time because they're your friend. Like those are the real influencers in life. And I think we forget that. Why do you think so many people that are at some of the highest levels of entertainment or in Hollywood who are super mega famous, they're not married? Or they've had 3, 4, 5 wives. It doesn't take a genius to know why. It's because they put everything they have into that thing, that craft. And they can't step outside of that. They have no ability to disconnect, or they think, if I do, I'll lose this fame. They don't understand the value in disconnecting from it and engaging in the real life around them because they think there's nothing to enrich them in that, right? Somewhere along the lines they were lied to. Mr. Grant Gregory says Lex Friedman has one of the best. Yeah, I agree. I think Lex has one of the best podcasts out there. I really like listening to Eric Weinstein. He doesn't have his anymore, which I'm really sad about. But he just did one with what's the guy's name? It was a 3-hour podcast. It's so good. No, Eric's fine. It's his brother Brett that I think has gone a little loco. Maybe I think Eric is okay, but I think he's just kind of fed up, like a lot of people. Yeah, the thing too is like a lot of these people can't go anywhere without filming or streaming what they're doing, right? And I've thought too, I'm like, oh, this would be really good if I like streamed it and did this. I'm like, can I just disconnect from it? Like, just you don't have to do everything online. It's great talking to people here, and like you get to like hear what I have to say about different things that are going on around the internet that I find really important. I think understanding who the culture warriors are and how that sort of fits in the day to day is important. If I were to say to someone right now, who are the biggest culture warriors like in the world, I think it's just normal people, normal everyday people that aren't tied into Twitter. If you take someone who has never spent a day on Twitter and told them about all this like gender identity stuff that's been going on, they would say you're fucking crazy. Or they would say something like, I don't care what an 18-year-old does, but stay away from kids. Kids don't need to know that shit. That's exactly what they would say. So where do you go from here? Going back to Clifton's tweet. He isn't wrong. How do we fix that? We don't need any more podcasters. I think I kind of said it. You need to. I think it's fine to listen to podcasters and look up to them for the hard work that they do, because a lot of the people who are sitting there and a lot of the people who are doing podcasts, they're well read in their field and they understand what they're talking about. The real influencers in life are those who are able to disconnect from the internet, who can run their lives in a timely, loving, caring, giving manner. They know how to continue to fill their cup. They know when to step away. They know when to take care of business, and they lead in their community. Those are the influencers. Those are what people are looking for. When I'm really like I looked up to people online. There's no doubt about it. But I'm also looking at the people around me, right? Like I went to the gym tonight with one of my friends. I look at him and I think, this is the dude that like I want to lift like this guy. This guy can put up some stupid good weight and he's not even fucking tired. I'm striving for that. Like these are like real, I think normal people have it made, dude. Like a lot of us online, we are too ingrained. We are too stuck in what we think is normal. We've been lied to. We've been told care about this issue. But I know people who are not on Twitter, who are barely on Facebook, and they still like the stuff gets brought up. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, there's two genders. There's no pain, no gain. Yeah, man, make me. Yeah, yo, get that clip. What up, Garrett? Good to see you, brother. Like the guys from the Unsubscribe podcast, lead by example. You have to. And here's the thing: you're not. Here's the thing: you're not going to like. Here's something that I'll say to you. It's so I was talking to. I see. I'll be honest with you guys. I see an anger management counselor, and one of the things that I've realized over, or one of the things I've realized over past few months is that I'm lacking control of my emotions, and that is not good. So the one thing that she gave me a little insight on is, well, you're not going to control your emotions. She said you can manage them. And I thought, well, that's good. I think, understanding like what you can and can't do is really important. Managing over control. Can't control anything really. We're just going to manage. We're going to manage it. And that's fine. But I started seeing like even clips about like people saying like, the inability to manage emotion is one of the weaker things about yourself. Like people who can't manage their emotions are weak. And I thought, fuck. Okay. So I just thought it was really smart to do that and talk to this person because I want to be better. I want to be better for my kids. Like kids don't learn by telling them stuff. I could tell my kid all the time. They're looking to me to manage my emotions. Lead by example. Like, and I couldn't do that. I can't do that. I'm having such a hard time with it. And the other thing I realized I was doing, and this is something that she pointed out to me, she was like, do you ever like, she was like, what, like the things you say to yourself, would you say them to someone you love? Because I was like, oh, I get down on myself and I kind of talk shit on myself. So would you say those things to someone you love? I said, no, absolutely not. She goes, why are you saying them to yourself? And I thought, like, yeah, that makes sense. Why? Why would you sit there and say to yourself, you're a loser, you can't do anything right, you suck? Why would you say any of those things when you wouldn't say that? Like you're you, that's all you got. So, and none of this is to say I need anyone's sympathy. This is something like we all go through these periods of like growth. But the point is, I saw Busted Knuckle talking about leading by example. And I think it's super important that, when whether you have a family or not, lead by example. You want to be a leader. You want to be someone that people look up to, that you want to be a culture warrior or an avenue for change. Lead by example where you can. Don't be stupid. But as Garrett said, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. All this stuff makes a huge difference in the long run. Like it's hard. It's hard knowing it's trial and error. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck up. But at the end of the day, if you can lead, you don't have to lead anyone but yourself and your family. That's all you need to do. It's not hard. That's where I'm at with that. That's what I say. Like, I love Clifton, and he's someone that I look up to a lot. But that tweet just made me think, like, oh, like there's so much that we can learn from this. Like their culture warriors are failing. The stuff that they're trying to do is not working. We're witnessing it all the time. We're witnessing all of this stuff crumble. And we should be stoked about that. Real people are going to start taking over. People like myself, every one of you in chat has the ability to lead and be the influence in your community, and we should do it. And Mr. Grant Gregory. Self-worth and or importance seems to be falling away from the modern man. I'm just a plumber now, and it all feels so trivial. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's another thing that I'm like I battle with, Busted, is like I find myself not valuing my own self. Like my self-worth is really low. And even importance to an extent. And what I do is, I mean, I'm a project manager with a restoration company. Like I work in construction, and I want to help people get their homes back in order and have a better life because of it. I'm trying not to lose hope, because I think the modern man, and if you're talking like modern man as in like they're taking the power away from men and making them seem like less than, maybe. But again, even that I find people aren't buying into. I don't think people are buying into it. Because as crazy as like Jordan Peterson has become, the core of what he stands for and what he talks about is important. And I think that is a good way for people to like better their lives and enrich their lives. There's 12 rules for life. John D says, evil can't exist forever because it devours itself of greed. I mean, I think evil will always exist in some way, shape, or form, but we can certainly stomp it out when we can fight against it. I think I think good triumphs. The more we self-worship, the less valuable we become. Yeah, oh, of course. Well, people have a really hard time understanding what value truly is. Like value can mean a few things, but like oh man, there's so much you could say. There's so much you could say about all this, because like people don't understand like what the value is in a solid self-worth, right? Like they don't understand the value in, like that's that's why we're here today. People are, what's up, Trey? Good to see you, man. We're here talking about issues of why family is important and why like the gender binary is important, because people don't understand the value in that. Does that make sense? They don't understand that right here, like we hold, you can't put a price on the importance of family, and or even the idea of creating that family by yourself, right? Like a man and a woman, they come together, they love one another, right? They fit their, as many Christians would say, like that this is by God's design, right? And out comes a new human that spawns of their love and a million scientific processes, biological processes, and wizardry. And people don't understand like how valuable that is. And people think, well, what's the big deal? Like when I listen in to these TikTok debates, and people are like, well, just go adopt a child. You could have a surrogate. And I'm just like, these people they have no clue what it means to make a life of their own. And I'm like, why are we here? I mean, I'm like, but this is years and years of indoctrination. And I hate using that word. I hate using the word indoctrination. I hate it. But it's not indoctrination. It's years of nihilism in everything. This doesn't fucking matter. Oh, who cares? Oh, well, you could be powerful. Of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you can be a powerful woman. No one's stopping you. No one's stopped a woman from doing shit. But there's nihilism, this creeping nihilism in everything. There's no good or bad. Only power. Okay. I get so sad when I think of like where we've gotten to with everything. I'm stopping them from making my sandwich and curry. My man keeps me down. Fight the power. Or some shit. I don't know. Tear down America and replace it with what? Well, I think the end goal in some respect is to, well, I think a lot of people or a large contingent of people in the US want to give a lot of power to the federal government to take even more of your tax dollars to distribute it to people who don't deserve it. I mean, Nasmer says, I hate nihilism in all its forms. There's criticism and then there's who cares, which is just lazy and giving up. Right. Like, and that's what I mean. Is like, there's importance to the roles that we have in life. It doesn't mean that they always have to exist, but it doesn't mean that because you don't adhere to this, that you must be that. If you're not this, you're that. Like that's stupid. And again, the gray area of like, there's no good and evil. Like, of course there is. Now, there is like gray areas do exist, but again, removing purpose from life, removing that value. Like, what is our purpose? Well, if you're gonna ask me, and I think a lot of people, it's to make a family and pass on your genetics to the next generation so they can procreate and pass on your name. And like, is that a man-made thing? Sure. I mean, I guess in some respects, but like what I mean, why whether it's by God's design or man's design, like it's still a beautiful thing. Why can't we celebrate that? Like people can't even celebrate. Like it's weird to me that people can't even celebrate the miracle of life as a scientific thing. Like they'll like this is a true miracle, and people are fighting every day. Like, well, I just want to terminate it whenever I want. Well, that seems odd. This thing can't even defend itself, and the only way you can think to repay it is to murder it. Thanks. Cool. Trey asks, why do you think nihilism has such power now? We believed we could kill God, become him, and our reign would be sufficient. But we see where that went. Yeah. I mean, through all these stories again, I haven't read the Bible, but through my discussions with people, that's essentially where I've seen things come to. And even in a more modern sense, you just have that amplified because people are just posting every day. And that, like, again, people use these tools of like social media and cameras and videos to share it with everybody. See this instance? See this cop? See this white guy? See this bleh? Look how awful they are. Look at this. We shouldn't care. It's unbelievable. Shags, I don't want to take care of a baby. I got things to do. Yeah, it's a really interesting it's really interesting to watch. Yeah, no, it's and that's the thing is like we're seeing like that, like his tool currently. And I think I said this on what the podcast I did with Society Reviews with Jacob. I said, it's a tool like that if there is a devil, he's using it every single day to push his message onto people. There's no doubt about it. But again, it doesn't, and I hate, and this is the black pill side of it that I don't necessarily like to fixate on because I think there's so much hope. Again, this is why I say disconnect from this, because if you can't handle the fact that all of this stuff is out and around constantly, you will drive yourself nuts. You will think you live in the worst place on the planet. And I still don't think that's true. I think there's so much more good than bad. nihilism has a lot of power because even more than just atheism, it's the ultimate justification for a life apart from God. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and again, it's like there's overall this total disrespect for one's life. You know, even as an adult, right? Like we could talk all day until we're blue in the face um about how, you know, like the abortion thing. Like we could talk a lot about that. But even adults, like they make excuses constantly to totally destroy their own bodies and their lives because they've been told there's no way out or there's no there's always exceptions to the rule, right? There's always exceptions to these rules. But you know, it's a I think more often than not, and especially with the use of social media, we're just seeing a lot of people just sort of leave it all behind and figured, oh well, it's over anyway, and we're done, and blah. What are we really here? Um, what else did I? Oh, I wanted to talk about. So something I was talking about on my last Shagcast, something that we talked about was caveats. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we talked a lot about caveats and how like you can't say anything, especially online, without having to caveat a bunch of different things and like to justify what you're saying. It was really funny because it came up in Joe Rogan's interview with Jonathan Haidt in his last podcast. So I wanted to share that with you because I think it was right along. Let me see. It's like a 3-minute clip, but I'll share a little bit here with you. What's up, Silvar? Good to see you. That's caviar. Oh. Oh boy. The spinning wheel of death. What's happening? So this was so I'll just give you a quick. They were talking about Trump's bloodbath comments. That's what this is centering around. But again, I wanted to because Jonathan Haidt says something about caveat basically. Thanks, Twitter. I'm so glad we can do this media right here on your website because it's awesome and it's so good. The question is, are we going to get hit by Joe Rogan for copyright? I'm actually on StreamYard. Funny enough. Okay, let me try and refresh this. See if we can't just bring it back up. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I have the actual speech. The headlines are different, but I'll just play this.
Let's play the actual speech.
To China, if you're listening,
What up, Savage Dan?
and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal. Those big monster.
So something I do want to say to Jonathan's point, it's this speech is very confusing, and everyone, you know, I still think everyone overreacted to it. There's no doubt about it, but his speech is very, very confusing, and they go over it because Jonathan Haidt was essentially making the argument that he said what he said, and people should be outraged by what he said because he's going to say there's going to be a bloodbath. He's calling for violence, and Joe's like, no, he's talking about the automotive industry. Like that's totally different. Like just listen to what he says, and they're able to sort of kind of talk it out, which is good. But this will also go to my caveat point.
Car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now. And you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't
So I think this is where
don't get elected, it's going to be a
so yeah. So I'm also pausing it a lot just so we don't get too
sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be.
So Jonathan Haidt's basically making the argument, period. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
The least of it. If this
That's going to be the least of it. Then it skips to this.
election, if this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country. Does that make sense? I don't think you're going to have another
So they cut it there to make it look like it. But I agree. I think he's talking about the economy.
election in this country. If we don't win this election, I don't think you're going to have another election, or certainly not an election that's being.
This you could argue one way or the other. I don't really care. I think Trump sometimes talks out of his ass to rally people. He could be right. He could be wrong.
Meaningful. And we better get out, or we better. I actually say that the date, remember this, November 5th, I believe it's going to be the most important date in the history of our country. I believe that.
I think this is going to be another defining election for sure. I mean, I think it'll definitely, we're going to see where the country is as far as who they want. If Trump gets elected, I don't think he wins, but do I think he'd be better than Biden? Maybe. I think Trump is the cause of a lot of issues, and with Operation Warp Speed and everything. I mean, he was in big pharma, dude. Like, he's not necessarily the answer here. He's not the best guy that everyone thinks.
So that's what he said.
Well, that sounds pretty bad. That sounds like the Flight 93 election argument, that if I don't win, the country's over.
But what he's talking about is this subversion of our economy and the subversion of our democracy, that we will never have an election again. I don't think he's saying that it'll be a bloodbath in terms of a civil war. He's saying that the economy is going to be destroyed.
First of all, I don't think anybody really understands what it means to have a civil war anymore. And I don't think it'll be a civil war in any way that people are trying to depict. I think you're going to see more of a cold civil war, if anything. I don't see all out fucking violence. I really don't. I really don't.
But there was no, I was listening for that. I was thinking maybe he meant it as a metaphor.
Speech.
I didn't hear any. I mean, the bloodbath is.
It's an unfortunate term, but what he's not. I don't.
So I think they find.
It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a mess. I don't think he's I mean, I think he would elaborate on that if he was saying there'll be violence. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's.
He makes a lot of asides. So he was talking about the economy. That's true. And then he said, if I'm not.
Destruction of our economy, the destruction of our.
He makes a lot of.
I love how Joe's just like, fuck, dude, don't make me punch you out, bro. You see that look on his face?
Sides. So he was talking about the economy. That's true. And then he said, if I'm not elected, and then he makes an aside about what would happen to the country if he.
And this is the point, like, everything we got, and I think Trump he's the worst at like making asides because he makes a lot of them, and it gets him like way off topic. Like he's so scatterbrained with how he talks.
So look, we might disagree on this. We surely disagree
It's
on
surely
our priors.
the wrong way to say it.
Look at he is daggers right now. He's like, it's the wrong way to say it. Dude, daggers, Joe. Attaboy.
Surely, we both agree on that.
Yeah. Oh,
it's an unfortunate term to use
for him to. Yes, that's right. But it doesn't sound to me as though the media took that one out of context.
I just rewatched the longer video in closed captioning.
So Jamie rewatches a video that's longer and has closed captioning. Again, so this is where you got to watch out with media, right? We all know this. Like that these companies, like, so you'll see like a news thing, like they flash, like if they're like shortening like a speech or something, it'll flash to give you that indication. Hey, this is essentially the ellipsis in our in our editing. Here we go. Make sure you go and watch the full thing because we're not responsible for your misinformation.
Yeah, cut it off. The video we watched cuts it off.
Joe's
right after the
pissed.
bloodbath,
Oh.
and it does continue to sort of say something
let's see.
about
Get
the
elected,
cars.
it's gonna
So this is important, right? This is where like going back and really like reading articles to the fullest, watching videos all the way. This is why it's important.
be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive
So immediately after that, he's talking about the cars.
factories. A friend of mine, all he does is build car manufacturing.
Okay, so he's
plants.
back on the
the
economy.
Yeah, he was talking about
Yeah, Joe. Yes. Like I told you, bitch.
No,
Let's talk
but
tariffs.
but the aside was not about the economy. The aside was him making one of these typical asides about how important he is.
Yeah, and that's just Trump, dude. Like honestly, all Trump does is talk about himself, and if you haven't realized that at this point, you're just stupid. And again, in my opinion, the whole idea that people have to make an aside on everything to clarify your words. This is where we are, and this is like it's really, really frustrating to live in this space because. And this is why the like trust needs to be restored in the office of the presidency because they're supposed to be the leaders, right? They're supposed to be people that you would just follow in. They're the commander in chief. And like between Biden for sure and then Trump, like are these the people that you would trust as commander in chief? I mean, if I'm being honest, not really. Trump a little bit more than Biden. Biden, I don't think really, the guy's just barely holding on by drinking the blood of young girls. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think the border is a big issue, and I think the candidate that comes up with the best solution for the border could pull this out. I'm like totally. Yeah, King, that's fair. Trump on script is pretty brutal. Trump on script is pretty brutal. I agree. And I think him keeping everything like talking about himself like keeps him out of trouble a lot of times, probably. Yeah, just like I don't think you need to close it. I think you need to now you do. I think now is like, okay, we need to close the border and process the people who are here or who are already within the system. Excuse me. Because most of us aren't against where we should be. Sorry. Most of us, I don't know why I said that. Most of us aren't against having people in this country. We want people to come to this country, and I want people to know where they want to go. Family comes here and wants to raise a family and buy land in Texas. Cool. Let them do it. Someone wants to go and live off social programs in California. Fine. Not my backyard. But you don't need to take in the amount of people we're taking in. There needs to be a proper vetting system of getting people. If people are coming in this country, there needs to be a proper vetting system. And right now there's not that. So I'm totally down. Get rid of it. Shut the border down and get the people out but there's people that are in the system that are trying to get here. Like, I guess those people are like, they're technically here. Yeah, I'm learning chess. So Mr. Grant Gregory challenged me to a game. I got a game going with Adam Krigler as well. Yes, but those social programs and job losses still cost you. Yeah, no. I'm not saying I want that, but what I want is I want people who are coming here to pay their way the way anyone really needs to. People need to assimilate to some degree, and that shouldn't be like a contentious thing to say. Like people say, "Oh, you want them to assimilate?" What? Like, well, I mean, they come to a country that they want to be a part of. Like, why wouldn't you? It'd be like me going to a Burger King and being like, I need a Big Mac. Yeah, I need a Big Mac. Well, that's not what we do here. It doesn't matter. That's what I want. Go get it for me. You know, it's like that's where we're at. Yeah. No, I agree, John D. I think we're in a place now where people don't. It's just not. It's not what what's happening. They're just like, hey, come on in. Texas is doing their job. From what I hear, there's two uniforms. There's blue and there's green. Everyone runs away from blue and runs to green. Green are the federal agents. They're supposed to take people and bring them in and just put them wherever. Blue is taking them and throwing them back over the fence. Nope. Later, bitch. Texas is doing what they're supposed to be doing. The federal government, no, they're saying, hey, come here. Here you go. Go to New York. Go to California. Go hang out. We'll give you a house. We'll see you in court in like 6 years and we'll just give you citizenship. Oh, and we'll count you in the population. Unreal. See, that to me could probably curb everything. The issue, there's so many problems. Charles Van, hail, brother. What's going on? There are some who come here to take this land back because they believe it was theirs. There are some in communities like Mecca that believe they are taking back land we stole from them during the Mexican-American War. Yeah, I do think that's strange. I think that's strange at this point. I just don't get it. I mean, the amount of work that I think our government has done over the past 100 to 200 years is, to fix its mistakes of the past seem to be above and beyond. I could be wrong. Maybe that's the white privilege talking. I'm sure someone will joke about that at some point, but I there's plenty of things that I haven't got. Puff Daddy's living in a $5 million mansion. I don't got that. I don't see any white privilege. So, hell, Quarter Black Garrett, he's got more subscribers than me. Where's the white privilege? I should have more subscribers. If the world was so great to white people, why do I have less subscribers than Quarter Black Garrett? Huh? Tell me. Kidding, Garrett. I love you. I don't get my white privilege check this month, Shags. What do I do? Yeah, you just got to be Poe, brother. What's up, Devastator? Good to see you. Dude, it's wild, man. Have you tried being whiter? How, dude? I'm white. I'm like about as white. Like, there's nothing more white and straight about me, right? Like, what? Like, that's supposed to be like pinnacle. Like, this is like you get everything. You get everything. If you're that, forget about it. Can't get shit. I can't even get a winning scratch off, man. Can't even get a winning fucking scratch off. I don't know, man. Sounds like a bunch of BS to me. You have the Jason Momoa look. Even with that, that's even worse. That's even worse, Trey. I look like Jason Momoa, and I can't even get that privilege. Come on now. Please send Hollywood. No, don't send. I don't want that. I don't want that garbage. What else we got? What else is going on in the world? Poor white people don't exist. Yeah, right. There's no such thing. He uses roids though. Yeah, it's pretty funny. There's a what isn't going on? Oh, dude, the bridge collapse. Who thinks the bridge collapse is intentional? Am I the only one that thought like maybe there's something? I watched the video of it and holy crap. Oh, you know what I got to bring up? We got to talk about this. Part of me wants to start a whole show like on this like conspiracy shit. I used to get into fights for you Halle boys in Hawaii. Played because I played soccer. I went to school with you guys, Tom. I've seen the other side. Yeah, you know what's funny? I had a good friend, one of the good cooks at the restaurant I worked at. He was a local boy, but he's like half white, and he grew up on Maui. And he was saying it was awful, like growing up, because he would just get his ass kicked all the time. He's one of the biggest Hawaiians I've ever seen. And if you heard this guy talk, you'd be like, "Oh, bro, like local boy, like." Dude, it was nuts. But this guy, like, he was like, I hated growing up because everyone thought I was white and they would just beat me up all the time. That sucks. It wasn't intentional. I think it was an accident because of the emergency hail they put out to alert the authorities. Okay, that's good to know. Oh yeah, the conspiracies are so much fun. Let me see here. I gotta go to my profile and then I gotta go to my bookmarked favorites. Oh, dude, there's okay. We're gonna check this out. I'm gonna show you this. Where auto scroll is off. Can I make this big? No, I think this is how it's got to go. Okay. He calls him the Howley boy. Nice. Okay, this is nuts, bro. Why can't we hear it? Why can't we hear this? Oh.
The butterfly effect of a tiny public access show in upstate New York. Clay Tiffany was an independent journalist and the fearless host of Dirge for the Charlatans. Notorious.
I've heard of this show, but I didn't know what's so crazy about it until now. I grew up in the Northeast in New England, so this is really close to where I live. Professor Savage Dad, new member. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you, brother. The hair is major. Yeah.
For being a thorn in the side of local officials and law enforcement, Clay Tiffany would probe into corrupt politicians and dirty cops, then broadcast his findings on his public access show. But with this fame came
This is the kind of stuff that no, dude, this is not cringe at all. It's not cringe at all. Just listen, man.
In powerful places. One being Briarcliff police officer / bodybuilder Nicholas Tartaglione, who in 1997 pulled Clay Tiffany over, warned him to stop looking into the police department, said he has ties with the mob, then physically assaulted the TV host. Obviously, this led Clay to delve further into the cop, and so began a long-standing feud between the two. Tiffany dug into his past and found that Tartaglione had a history of assault in his time as a police officer. Clay Tiffany would slam him and the BPD on Dirge for the Charlatans, and in retaliation, Tartaglione would find him and beat him up. This happens at least 4 times, with the last confrontation putting Clay in the hospital. He would host the next episode.
Bro, he does a whole show in the hospital just like this. The dude is like big time.
From his hospital.
No, it's not even roid rage. So the guy has ties with the mob, and I think this guy was, because he kept calling him out in the police department. This is what he did. like almost like an old school, like grassroots Alex Jones. And he just totally exposes this guy. And I think he was getting close to some pretty crazy shit.
bit. Clay sued the police department, winning a big settlement, but Tartaglione was never charged or found guilty of a crime. Until this story goes somewhere I never could have predicted. Clay Tiffany passed away in March 2015.
So now listen. This is the important part. If you guys are not paying attention, pay attention. So he passed away. Clay Tiffany, the host of Dirge of the oh my god, I can't even think. Dirge for the Charlatans, was he's found dead of natural causes in 2015.
Of natural causes. And the following year, Nicholas Tartaglione was arrested after killing 4 men over stolen drug money and burying them in a mass grave in the woods. Tartaglione, now facing a life sentence, has been behind bars since his arrest, where in 2019, he was the last person to share a prison cell with Jeffrey Epstein. Never.
What? Dude. Like, is that not juicy or what? Is that not juicy? When I heard that, I was like, bro. Hold on. Was there anything else in there?
Never underestimate.
Oh no, that's the I could not. Yeah, dude, getting my tinfoil cap on, bro. That was so. When I heard that, I was like, "Oh, what?" So that's what I'm saying. Is like, so, dude, Clay Tiffany was doing his job, reporting on all this stuff, going hard at this guy, and then basically must have been getting close to something, or the mob or people behind it all are sick of it. So they probably just beat this guy to a pulp, and who knows, probably killed the other guy. And then they send that big dude out to, take care of these other guys. He ends up in jail. And then who needs to be off because he's about to pretty much expose everybody? Yep. Yeah, bro. It's nuts. Oh man, I was going to show you a clip of something that I wanted to. Yeah. I want to be that guy, but more alive. I want to be able to drop the truth like that. Well, that's the thing, is like, this guy was doing what he believed was right, and that's the thing, is like, it's hard to put yourself in harm's way and say, I'm going to try and expose people for the very worst that they're doing or what they're potentially doing. But it's easy to get lost in the sauce, I think, and go down dark paths that, you get entrenched in this stuff and you think you start believing everything that comes out. And that can be a huge problem. And in some ways, maybe Clay Thomas was wrong. And Clay Tiffany was wrong in a lot of issues, but he was certainly right about that guy. Oh, the first Neuralink dude stayed up all night playing Civ 6. Yeah, I saw that. I'm telling you, Neuralink, I don't think Neuralink is the way. I think Neuralink will be powerful for people who need it, but I think making it a commercial product is a huge mistake. I know that Elon wants to help people, but I feel like Neuralink is something for severely disabled people, maybe people who can't talk or whatever. But I think making it a commercial product is one of the worst things that you could do. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Audi wasn't arrested until they needed an inside job. Exactly, Silvar. That's what I mean. It's nuts, man. I want to see. I have a lot of bookmarks in here. of stuff that I really like, and I don't know if there's anything worth sharing at the moment. You guys know what I mean, right? With the whole. Oh, this is part of the. Let me bring this up. This is the what. So this is the. Who is this? Chris Williamson. This is the podcast I was talking about earlier. So this is this is a clip from his discussion with Eric Weinstein. And I think it's really, really awesome. Let me start this over.
Have you seen the data showing the movement of teenage boys politically to the right?
Where else are they going to go?
It's a good question.
I had a teenage boy. I still have one. And I watched them be pushed farther and farther right by their schools. You suck. All of your instincts are bad. These girls are amazing. Look at you. You're pathetic. Be less masculine and more attractive. You're just barking at them constantly. They're not moving right. They're moving out of your stupid way. You've given.
That's based. I will never get Neuralink because as soon as it hits the market, you're going to get hackers looking it over, trying to find a way to hack in. Yeah, I mean, that too. And I'll never be able to afford it. Let's just be honest about that.
Given them what? Nothing. One of my son's friends died.
Yeah, and so one of the things I'll say about what he's talking about here is that people have a lot of and even I guess even myself to an extent. There's no solutions to the things that we're seeing out there, right? It's a bunch of you suck, you don't do this, don't do that, be more like this, be less masculine, and there's no solution for it. Yeah, nothing today reinforces boys being masculine. Yeah.
Recently by his own hand. And I don't know what kind of pressures he was put under. I watched those kids go through this pressure cooker created by this crazy parasitized left-wing educational movement. Get away from our sons. Get away from our daughters. Get away from our sons, not left or right. I don't have a Republican bone in my body. Get the crazy people who do not understand human development away from our children.
Well, like
huge. You don't understand what human development is. Get away from kids and stop talking about it. It's like all that happens now. It's not all that happens, but like it happens at ages where it's like there's no need for this. There's no need to be talking to children at this age about stuff. He goes on, and I'll let him continue.
Gender is about reproduction. And it's paired, and there's nothing you're going to do that's as good as the male-female pairing that produces families. Right now, we are allowing our children to be parented by people who should be nowhere close to a child. We're not like wildebeests where you come out with programming where you can walk on day one. We're basically self-assembling computers. And what...
That's really well said, too. We really are. We really are. And I think that understanding humans is like we're very, very complex machines that take years to develop, are capable of insane things, and that's it. We are meant for so much more, and it means something to respect that male female bond that we can reproduce in this way. You're not going to get anything better than that.
You put into a developing mind. What normal child trying to figure out gender identity does not go through a process trying to figure out, oh, I like that dress. Do I want to marry somebody who's wearing it, or do I want to wear it myself?
This to me is like the most rational thing that you can like really talk about. And this is why I said, like, I think Grant said earlier, like Eric's kind of losing it. This seems like a very rational position to me. And that's why I think this discussion was so long, is because he really talked about this at length, and he's thought about this over and over and over again. And I really respect him for how it all comes across. No, we are not self-assembling computers. If you leave a child alone, it becomes oh my God. Yes. I didn't caveat enough. Yes, I know that. I know that a child will fucking die if you leave him there. I get that. But what I'm talking about is the complexity of, like, we are born with the fucking DOS operating system, and by the time we are adults, actually we aren't, because if you leave a child on the floor, it'll die of dehydration and starvation. Okay, Tom. Fuck. Yeah. DOS is boss, yeah.
Normal process that you go through in development. And if a parent hears that, they usually, try to guide natural gender identity. Now, what happens when an administrator says, "Oh, he said he wanted to wear a dress. He's a girl. Everybody respect his choice"? What? You took a moment that happens in every boy's life and you turned it into a trans affirmation moment? Trans kids exist. They have life very hard on them. How many trans kids got manufactured by this DEI movement versus how many would occur naturally? And you have
This is a good point. How many trans kids were manufactured due to this movement, and that otherwise just would have been like, "Oh, that was a fleeting thought," or "I'm just extremely gay," whatever. It's a question worth answering.
of type 1 and type 2 error. You have a trans kid who was always going to be a trans kid that wasn't properly treated. That's terrible. You have another huge collection of normal kids who are never going to be trans, and you push them towards this.
So incredibly good. That whole discussion is awesome. If you have the chance to watch, it's 3 hours, but it's really, like, you're on a long drive, you're mowing the lawn or whatever, watch it. Or listen to it. It's so good. And Chris Williamson is a great interviewer. Like, between him and Joe Rogan, I would love to be either of them. It'd be awesome. 20% of 1% of the real trans people, 80% grow out of it by 18. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that those numbers are real. Like, I'm sure it's a small proportion of the population. And, like, I know I went to high school with a trans man. She very masculine in high school. And then right now, if you saw him, you had no idea. Zero idea. Has a beard like mine. Shorter, but. Are we pushing mental illness on people who otherwise would never experience it? Likely. It's like in the 80s. So Abigail Schreier talked about this on Joe Rogan as well. So it's like the whole movement in the 80s where they were pushing like multiple personality disorders on people. Like, these things happen, and the big problem here is that a lot of doctors are acting in fate, or they're acting in, like, this is protocol. This is protocol. This is how you deal with this stuff. But they just made it up. No, but Ark, like, what I'm saying is they're, yeah, no, and I don't necessarily think that they would claim to be. I mean, they're definitely born a biological woman, but it was something that happened later in life, much, much later in life. It wasn't something that was forced on them as kids. So again, it was a success, I think, because this person went through a natural, like, female puberty and then realized, this isn't how I want to live my life. I think I need to take, the extra steps. So yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of money to be made in that industry. In the gender affirming care industry, there's a lot of money to be made. And that's a lot of why all this stuff got pushed. A lot of people were, that are on the forefront of it. I don't even think it necessarily, I mean, yeah, the morally good thing to do, I don't think it matters. I think an adult can do whatever they want. I don't necessarily think there's morals involved with that there, because they chose to live their life. They're still respecting others. They're respecting themselves. It's not something that, like, if they cross the line of forcing that choice on children, then I think you're right. But I think that if anything, they've done everyone a service by waiting. Like, hey, I had to, sort of go through the natural progression of my natural biology in order to get to where I am, and then I can, make the right choice so I know that I'm not wasting my time, my body, all that. But I don't, yeah, and I think you should respect that. But again, you don't have to. Whatever, dude. I mean, whatever to anyone. You don't have to. Like, it's a free fucking country, of course. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. But I think that there's a big difference between doing that and then trying to act like we know or people know what's in the best interest of children. Right, right. I think that's kind of where I'm at. Um, Forsaken Sandwich, how's it going, man? I agree. Doctors are quacks in my experience. I think doctors are good. I mean, there's no doubt that doctors have helped a lot of people. Um, but there are, I think, in the gender affirming care business, we have to be careful. I think people have to be careful. You become an almost permanent patient. I mean, if they have a family, then they are hurting others. I'm not sure what you mean, Professor Savage Dad. If you're talking about with children, yes, I would probably agree. But I think again, I don't think I don't think that individuals who transition after 18, like I don't think they're doing harm to anyone, even with a family. Because honestly, I mean, I think at the end of the day, nobody's. I don't know. It's a really hard thing to have, like a discussion to have, because I spend more time caveating uh, than I do actually talking. Yeah, yeah. Everyone they push into the yeah. I mean, they are, and again, this is why it's important that, like, as an adult, you are consenting to that, right? Well, that's what I mean. Well, and this is what I mean, Savage Eyes, like, or anyone listening, as a consenting adult, as someone who can make the decision on their own and is now liable for that, fine. If it's insurance that you're paying for and that insurance covering it, whatever. It's no, you're paying into that. I'm not. Do I think that Medicare should pay for that? No. Sorry. Well, we'll have to talk sometime. It's sorry. It's kind of because I'm kind of piecing your stuff together while also thinking about my own stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of issues. I think the U.S. pharmaceutical industry has been a big driving force in the economy. And that's a huge problem, in my opinion. I think that I think that any chance we get to put someone on some kind of medication, it's done because it's oh hey, well, we can make a few bucks. Like fuck, like sometimes like kids need to be kids. What's up, Matt Vader? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you in about a week and a half. Yeah, there's a lot of questions surrounding this stuff that need to be had because ultimately you're gonna live with these people, with people like this. What do you mean these people? Yeah, it's like, and people are like, oh, hold on, I gotta see if I can bring up this ad. It's so good. I really gotta bring it up. You guys, I don't know if you'll laugh, but it was wild. I have it in my notes, the medication that it was for, and I'm hoping I can just find it on on YouTube. I'm that guy that wants to stay a guy, but my problems haven't been alleviated until I change my diet or something. Their recommendations didn't help. Okay, no, I hear you. Oh, here it. Okay, I found it. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try and get the commercial. Yeah, diet is really huge. Is this the one? Or is this the one? This isn't the ad I saw, but let me see if it's this one. Is it the older one? This whole thing, it made me think like this is the problem. This is the problem. Nope, this isn't it. I think it's this one. I guess. I got to show this to you. I was just laughing too hard. The medication is called Rexulti, and it's like an antidepressant medication. Oops. Okay.
Especially when you're struggling with depression. So I did some research, took a questionnaire, and talked to my doctor. I'm taking my antidepressant, but I still feel stuck.
Adding Rexulti could help. When added to an antidepressant, Rexulti was proven to reduce depression symptoms 62.
6-week study in adults with ongoing symptoms of depression still taking an antidepressant. Individuals' results may vary.
2% more than the antidepressant alone. So you can stay on your current treatment and keep moving forward.
Rexulti can cause serious side effects.
Here it comes. Ready? Here it comes. Rexulti can cause serious side effects. This is an antidepressant medication, mind you. Or it's supposed to, so this is supposed to help antidepressant medications like work better. But here are some side effects.
Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and...
Hold on. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts. Yeah, let me take this medication.
Worsen depression in those under 25. Call your
those under 25.
Your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which could be life-threatening, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Increased cholesterol.
Uncontrollable muscle movements that may be permanent. Very high blood pressure can lead to a coma or death. Monitor if you have or are at risk for diabetes. Other blood tests may be needed.
Cholesterol, weight gain, high blood sugar, decreased white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, seizures, trouble swallowing may occur.
I'm glad my doctor helped me take another step towards managing my depression.
When depression
Bro, what?
Sets you back, keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward, except for those times when you have to go back with seizures, high blood pressure that might kill you, leg movements that might be permanent. What? Yeah. Skip muscle stiffness that may be fatal. Like, what? What is happening? But trust us. Trust us. We want to help. This will probably help you feel better. It's oh my God. I just can't even anymore with this shit. What else matters if the medicine you take could kill you? My friends got really offended when I told them they should maybe not take this stuff. No, it wasn't, Jack. That was not parody. That was a real commercial. It's called Rexulti. You take it with your antidepressant medication to help to help it work better. But you might have a fatal stiffness in your leg. You might get seizures. You might yeah, there's about 20 things you got to be careful of while taking it. She stopped using her smiley mask, so it was a success. Oh my God, dude. No, that's what I mean is like when you look, so this is one of the problems. One of the problems in the US is that you get TV spots and commercials like this that like have people like all happy. I'm with my friends now. Don't you see me? Look at me walking down this hall, like so much better. I don't even have my smiley sign. But meanwhile, like the guy, the voice, like, because no one is listening to the voice in the background. They're seeing the happy woman on screen, and they're just like, oh well, that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be that person, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna keep moving forward. If I went to the doctor tomorrow and like I'm having like really bad shoulder pain, and he was like, oh, we're gonna have to put you on this medicine, but some of one of the side effects on there is like it might give you more seizures. I would be like, no. Like I would rather I would rather deal with the pain than have to like possibly have more. What? No. Like it. Yeah, it's essentially a type of subliminal messaging. Yeah, because you're not hearing the voice that's actually telling you the information you need to hear. It's showing you like everyone's watching the screen. They see a happy person, they see multiple happy people, and that's all that matters. I think an antidepressant should not cause suicidal tendencies in any age. Oh no, yeah, right, for sure. Oh, what is this? Ark says, "Okay, Shags, Cuba Gooding Jr. has been sued for sexually assaulting a male producer. Check DMs. Oh, well, let's have a look, friends. Let's bring it up. Let's talk about it. Oh, let's share this instead. It's from the LA Times. Cuba Gooding Jr. added as co-defendant in Lil Rod's lawsuit against Diddy. Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. has been named as co-defendant in lawsuit brought against embattled hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, which was brought in February by Diddy's Love album producer. Okay, so his producer, Lil Rod, has just been amended as this last Monday to list Gooding as a defendant as well, to include a declaration from former Motown chief executive Ethiopia Habter Mariam about technical license agreements, and to insert additional evidence to the RICO and sex trafficking section of the lawsuit. Jones's lawyer Tyrone Blackburn confirmed Tuesday in an email to the Times. The Second Amendment complaint was filed Monday, the same day that Homeland Security investigations conducted bi-coastal raids on mansions owned by Combs in the Holmby Hills and Miami. Federal agents conducted the searches as a part of an inquiry into sex trafficking allegations involving the hip-hop mogul and entrepreneur. Law enforcement sources said Aaron Dyer, an attorney for Combs, on Tuesdays called the raid an unprecedented ambush that leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made by civil lawsuits. And this is what I'll say to this. He's partially right. But here's the thing. If there's sex trafficking allegations that are being levied against him and they're good enough, like, I think using that sort of like force, if you will, was totally necessary. Because what if they bust in there and they find a bunch of kids tied in the basement somewhere? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't, you have to treat this with the utmost. And yeah, and while people will rush to judgment, P. Diddy already screwed that up by jumping ship. Like, he shouldn't have done that. If he was innocent, he would have stayed and just fought through this thing. Dyer added that Combs cooperated with authorities, is innocent, and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Then why did he leave the country? Blackburn, Jones's attorney, said he has not been contacted. Has not been contacted by federal authorities regarding the Homeland Security investigation. Defendant, Cuba Gooding Jr., was a relevant actor who had fallen from grace due to several sexual assault lawsuits and recent guilty plea for sexual assault. Wait, what? How did I miss this? And the complaint, which was obtained Tuesday by, I think I did know this actually. In it, Blackburn noted that his client, a Chicago-born producer who produced 9 songs on Diddy's 2002 album, believed Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends, and that fear became reality when Combs introduced him to Gooding on his yacht in January 2023. Jones also accused Gooding of fondling his legs, upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks, and his shoulders, which made the producer extremely uncomfortable. Well, so yeah, I don't know. Like this could be like, let's be honest, right? Anywhere from like here to here. Like, unless he's like, right? That's not, I mean, I don't know, man. So, some of this, I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but extremely uncomfortable. I've heard this before. I worked in a restaurant, so it just happens. Everyone's extremely uncomfortable. It is a little odd, but I mean, I've been like talking to my bros or whatever and just like slapping them on the top of the leg or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, if he's like, I mean, if it's something like the whole, like if it's like, oh, hey, you know, oh, that's weird. You know, that's weird. As the owner of the property, Mr. Combs had a duty to protect Mr. Jones from the harm he suffered at the hands of Cuba. Mr. Combs breached his duty when he failed to stop Cuba Gooding Jr. from sexually assaulting Mr. Jones. The complaint said in furtherance of this breach, Mr. Combs encouraged Cuba Gooding Jr. to continue to assault on Mr. Jones when he said that Cuba Gooding Jr. should privately get to know Mr. Jones better. The problem is none of this looks good in the grand scheme of things. If the bad boy estate is guilty of all of this anyway, he's gonna roast for this. Like this is what I mean. It's like I don't know, man. A lot of stuff that I see here, like I'll just so this whole part here, he should get to privately know, like this is weird because like if I knew someone that like I would, I don't know, like it depends on how this was said. Like, how do you prove that this was him encouraging him to be like, oh, hey, you should like, you know. But you can't dismiss someone's like immediate like, oh well, I'm this was really bad. You know, this really hurt me. This hurt my psyche, blah, 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 blah. Again, if the Combs estate, if the bad boy estate is guilty of all this stuff, this is not going to end well for Cuba Gooding Jr. for sure. But he's been, and I didn't realize that, I forgot that he's already been like involved in a lot of stuff recently. Breaking, rapper who raps about doing bad things may have done bad things. The unfortunate part of a lot of stuff like this is that this stuff can be taken one way or the other, and some of this stuff could be construed as not so bad. The problem becomes like if like this stuff is on camera, let's say, like if there's like security footage of Cuba Gooding Jr. like really like advancing on this guy, you know, with his hands in like near his crotch and stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that'll bury him. But if it's this guy saying like, "Oh, I was uncomfortable," and he was like touching my back, and like, I mean, how many of you guys have like, I mean, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird, not gonna lie, but it does happen where you know, hey, you know, it's like touching, like, hey, what's going on? You know, like in Vegas, I might touch someone on the small of the back. You know, that's a guy. Like when I take a picture with Garrett, I'll have my hand on the small of his back. Maybe, I don't know. I won't now, but if he's listening, he'll be like, "Don't you fucking touch me, bro." And I'm sure, and like the thing is again, I'm not dismissing this guy's like, you know, plea or whatever. Yo, Dr. Octagon, so good. Paging Dr. Octagon. Dr. Octagon. I just watched the video of Crowder trying to aggressively kiss not gay Jared. Yeah, that whole situation is like, it's Shags wants the I think that needs to be a shirt, bro. I think that needs to be a shirt. It should just say like what would it say? You don't have to say Shags, obviously, but like get, I don't know. I'm always flattered because Garrett hangs out and edits videos while he listens to me, so he must respect what I have to say. Dr. Doom is awesome, but I can't remember how many O's. Dr. Doom. I'll let you touch me in a totally consensual but not gay way. It's called a handshake. No, Maddie, we're gonna embrace like okay. We're gonna wrap the beards in each other, and then we'll call it good, and then we'll never touch again. 20% of the total body mass is a pretty big way. Yeah. Bro hugger, right? Sounds yeah. All right. I'm a bro hugger, by the way. I'm through and through. I'm a bro hugger. If any of you guys are going to Vegas, make sure you come tap me on the shoulder and say hi, because I'll be there. We got to write a Robin Hood parody about quarterstaff Garrett. You could touch the small of my back. I invite it and it's weird then. Yeah. When I just come up to you, I'm just like, I'm here to touch the small of your back. Too good, man. Too good. Wait, what the fuck? I just think, you know, this whole thing's a giant mess. This whole thing's a giant mess between Cuba Gooding Jr. And Combs. And this again, this is why that tweet, to bring it all the way back around, the tweet from Clifton Duncan, like they're culture warriors, they're failing, man. They're done. The jig is up. In my opinion, the jig is up. And we should be celebrating that shit. So you're saying if I stroke your beard, it's too much? I don't know, maybe. When people touch my beard, it's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've had people like want to like don't do that. I don't know. I don't know. I like you, Jack. I might make an exception for you, but I still think it's fucking weird. I think it's fucking funny what they are getting themselves into. Can you touch my hair? I guess. But there's nothing special about my hair. Look, I'm wearing Garrett's hat. Thanks, buddy. If you really want to, my beard. Thanks, Diana. Good to see you. Not sure it's weird when people touch my beard. It's weird. It's weird. Let's be honest. Like when people like come up to you like, can I touch? What? Why? 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 Weird way of saying please do. I can't wait to meet King. King's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to meet King. Wait, so you can touch the small on people's back, but they can't touch your beard? You're a freak. Well, I think it's different because here's why. Because I think touching the small on your back, I don't know what it's you know what it is? It makes me uncomfortable. It's like if someone just said like moist over and over again. Like, come on, dude. I don't need to say that. I get food crumbs in my beard. Don't touch my beard. Yeah, probably, Jack. That would probably be weirder, I think. Yeah. There might be. There might be, John. There's a lot of times there is. If you go out to eat with me, generally you'll see stuff. Gross. A beard is like a dorm fridge. It holds snacks for like. Oh, that's good hair. Nice. I just remembered a girl did the touch your hair thing to me. It wasn't hot because it was equally weird. It's definitely a crumb catcher. Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know, man. Hey, in other news, in better news, I'm starting to learn chess. Apparently Mr. Grant Gregory wants to play chess. Maybe we'll start a game with him. I want to be friends. How do I? Awesome. Yeah, I want to learn how to play chess. I watched a lot of Gotham chess back in the day and like tried to like really focus on like openings and shit, and I just kind of lost interest. My rating, if anyone ever like cared about that, is so bad, but thanks for having a stream of not full on fear mongering. Got to get to bed. I need more sleep or I'll die. Psh, doctors, who needs me? Busted Knuckle, appreciate you coming through, man. I think it's awesome, and I really appreciate the encouragement and like recognizing that I'm just not trying to black pill people all the time. So chess is hard to be good at, but it's something. So I thought about making a whole new YouTube channel that was basically like me playing games and like puzzles and stuff, and just trying to and like just documenting my journey in just like from like zero to hero, you know. Like I would love to be like a consistent like 8 or 900 rating. That would make me happy. I would be really happy with that rating. Like right now, I'd probably pay it like a 300. It's bad. I don't see the board the way I should. And that, it just takes time, understanding basic strategy. We should play some games in Vegas. Oh man. If you have a board, bring it with you. If you have a board, I'll play for sure. I love chess. You got to understand nearly every combination of moves has already been played and recorded. So it's just a matter of remembering what the most common complementary moves are. Yeah. Yeah, oh man. It is the thing with so many, like there's more chess combinations than there are like stars in the sky or something like that. Like it's crazy. Stars in the universe. Garrett, you played as a kid and got 8th and oh damn, dude. Dude, Garrett fucking run the table. I haven't played chess since Windows XP. Nice. Savage is packing it. Love it. Yeah, so right now I use chess.com on the phone. And I have me and right now me and Adam Krigler are playing a game and me and Mr. Grant Gregory are playing a game. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't want to play a game against Garrett, but maybe one day. New to the channel, I've seen you around the sphere and you seem based. So what exactly is your channel about, if you don't mind me asking? Charles, I'll tell you what my channel is about. It's about I mean, I comment on whatever I want to comment on, generally like pop culture stuff. I talk about a lot of stuff that everyone else talks about, but from a different angle. Sometimes I like to think it's from a more practical angle, but I think it's just from a more subdued angle. I don't usually take the clickbaity route that I think a lot of people do, and that's not. I don't say that against anyone else. I just say it like I just don't like. I my goal is to have the longer format discussion. Really, more long term is to have longer one-on-one discussions with people, especially when it comes to like current event stuff. So recently you had that whole issue with the game dev from for that Black Panther game, who basically said we don't hire white people because I want to feel safe. I actually reached out to her to do a podcast episode on my one-on-one show to like talk with her about her past and what the events leading up to that whole thing. Was unsuccessful, but for sure tried. And then I've spoke with people like Ethan Van Sciver, Vito, about stuff that they're doing and like kind of why we are where we are. But yeah, I believe in long format discussions, and that's kind of where everything's going. My username on chess.com is TheShagsworth. But yeah, is Adam the sexual harassment dude, or is that other guy? I don't think Adam. I don't know. What do you mean, Forsaken Sandwich? He's my buddy. Sounds like quarterback Garrett is trying to start a Vegas chess tournament. Oh man. I can put I guess I could put my I'll just put my friend link in chat, and whoever, if you guys want to be friends and we can play a game, I will do my best to play against you. I really don't care at this point. Log in, boy. Let's log in. I think it's Beardington. Continue. Is this... What game is this? Oh, damn. Look, Arkasul already challenged me. 14 days a move? What is this? What, bro? There you go. I'm not good at this game, by the way. I'm not good at chess. I'm trying to be good, and that's it. We doing it live? No way. Doing it live. Do it. Fuck it. Doing it live. I can't wait for Exhibition Mass in Vegas with MSK. It was so fun watching Adam get red pilled in real time. He was so excited. Yeah. Oh, what's up, MSK? Hi. Wait, Master Swag King, aren't you streaming right now? I see you on Twitter. I told you not played since Window XP easy game for you. We'll see, man. Holy shit. It's already my turn. Should we put this game on and play with Arkasul? Oh no. Oh no. Don't do it. This is gonna be bad. You don't know what you're doing? I don't know what I'm doing either, man. I'd hate to be the guy spreading bullshit about men taking advantage of hoes. Do I play the Queen's Gambit? Is that what I do? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. The problem with this game is that I'm going to take this off the screen. Two idiots playing chess. Let's go. The problem with this is I don't know fully what I'm doing yet. I'm really trying, obviously, but I am going to stop. That's what I was going to do. Damn it. There we go. There you go, Ark. I was gonna. Now you have 14 more days to make a move. King Deplorables wants to play. All right, let's play. Don't think, feel. I remember you from Saturday Night Hypnosis and also on Base Staff Monday. So I'm glad you're a part of this sphere. Thanks, man. Yeah, I really like it. I've been very, very lucky that that these guys have accepted me into the whole sphere. You know, it's I do my best. I want to do what I can to add my sense to everything because I think it's important to kind of take in multiple opinions. And actually, Base Staff is a really awesome show that I think showcases like how multiple opinions can kind of come together and just like different angles on it. You know, not like they don't all have the same like thought process on everything, and I think that's good. I think the only thing that would make Base Staff better is to have like a more left opinion on there. I think that would make it way fun. But like someone who wasn't like crazy that could like take the like conservative bashing and all that, or like the bashing from the conservative side. The horsey moves in an L. Yes. Stop mirroring my moves, Ark. Oh, Ark, why did you do that? Actually, I'm a surgeon. Exactly. Base Staff is way awesome, but I agreed on the left side argument. That would be cool. Chess is fun. That's why like I think learning chess is a really good time. There's so many different moves that you could do. I've playing the puzzles in this is actually really fun because it really puts your mind like like you need to think a certain way about how the pieces move, and like you always need like that sort of like double attack. I feel like is a really valuable thing that people forget early on. Where's everyone coming from? The bishop is the worst name for a chess piece. He should have earned it. He should have named it the Pope. Now I'm just waiting for Ark's turn to be done so I can. Wait, why is there two? Ooh. Now we know why there will be no more uploads on your site. Chess, and chess. Right. No. Well, and if you guys haven't realized, so here's like I'll just give you the quick update on this is like I'm a streamer. Like videos are really hard for me to really like sit down and do. Like I've considered like what it would be to hire an editor because like I would love for someone to be able to clip up these streams into like good clips that illustrate my points in a sound way and are entertaining for building subscribership. But like at the end of the day, people should know that following me is because you like to watch live streams or hear live streams after the fact. It's just what I do. Videos, it's just videos are not something that not that I'm not capable of it. It's just I don't have the time for it. But live streams I can do. We do 3 live streams a week. You get all my content and basically all my opinions right there, and then boom. I heard Erwin from Nerd Wars is looking for work. Oh man. What am I doing? What am I doing here? It's just nice to have a normal conversation, not always be a part of 3,000 people trying to get attention. Yeah. Yep. Live streamers are a different beast than video making. Oh, for sure. For sure. I think it's harder too in some ways because like I'm sitting here like just talking off the top of my head. And a lot of times that's what I'm doing when I make a video. I'm just sitting there like thinking, oh, like these are what's going on. I'll write notes for myself sometimes, but a lot of it is just right off the top of my head. I don't know. Hopefully this goes well. But it does. It takes a lot. Because it's not just the video content, it's the editing. Like there's a lot to put into videos editing wise, like how you cut them, titles, different effects, all that stuff. Real talk, why is it that videos make more than live stream or so that I've heard? It just depends. Like the videos, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, live streams are making money off of super chats and the videos are making ad revenue. You can super thanks videos, I believe, but like if you have a gracious enough audience that's live and they're super chatting you can make insane amounts of money. And then that video can also like if the video or live stream stays monetized after the fact, you can still make ad revenue off it afterwards as long as it doesn't, But yeah, the live streams they're nearly zero effort other than sitting down and you guys like honestly, you could have a whole channel where like your audience sends you links and you just sit there and react to them. I mean, if you're entertaining enough, you could certainly do that. But yeah, I mean, you could make more off of live streams, but yeah, I mean, Asmongold does that. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And you basically like if you want to get monetization fairly quick, do live streams because you'll get watch hours from those live streams. the live streams contribute to your watch hours. And then those become VODs, which people can watch afterwards as well. Yeah, they do their best. Like AI does their best to check and see if it's monetizable. I've actually, the last 2 SHAGcasts, I've had to have them manually review because they gave it limited monetization. But then I had them check it over and it didn't violate anything. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Ryan does the thing where he sits down and just Ryan sits down and will like basically record him ranting and then chop that up, and that's his videos, and like that's really good. And the sad thing is, like that like honestly, if I had someone to do that for me, if I had someone to edit that and chop that up for me, I would probably be golden. I'd be in a very similar boat because I could do that. I could spend like I could do this show as like an hour-long show or hour and a half, and then be done, and then have someone just chop it up and like maybe take out some of my asides, and then it's a video, and then I can archive this on another channel. You just DM me a link. Buttigieg is peak retardation right now. And like Alec Baldwin's finger, he don't miss. Hold on. You sent me a link? Where, on Twitter? I don't see it. I don't see your shit. Or did you send it to me? I don't know where you sent it. Ryan Long is low-key really smart too. Yeah, and he's funny. He's pretty funny. Because I think at the end of the day too, like when I mean, on Twitter and DMs, I don't see it, dude. Oh, there it is. Now I see it. Okay, let's check this out. Oh boy, I know I'm already gonna hate this. Transportation Secretary in response to bridge disaster. Maybe some bridges were made by racists. Oh my God. Is this where we are? Oh man. I can't. If an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican, I can't even finish this. I can't even finish this, bro. If an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices. I don't think we have anything to lose by confronting simple reality. Please. Oh man. Oh. Okay, let's listen to what this dude I guess to say.
If an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or there would have been in New York, was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices. I don't think we have anything to lose by confronting that simple reality, and I think we have everything to gain by acknowledging it and then dealing with it, which is why the Reconnecting Communities, that $1 billion, is something we want to get to work right away.
Oh my God. What did I just watch, dude? These people can't be bargained with. They can't be taught anything. There is something really, really wrong. He's badly referencing something a city planner did in New York City like 80 years ago. Bridge builders are racist because buses carrying people on it might go up. What did he say about you want to let's watch it again. I think we didn't really hear that, did we? Let's watch it again. Sorry, you guys can't see that. Allow me to I'm even gonna make it big. I want everybody to see this. Everybody.
If an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly Black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or that would have been in New York, was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices. I don't think we have anything to lose by confronting that simple reality, and I think we have everything to gain by acknowledging it and then dealing with it, which is why the Reconnecting Communities, that $1 billion, is something we want to get to work right away.
We just need that $1 billion to get into to taking down that racism. Someone did a racism once, and I'm here to make it my job. I couldn't get a real job, so I'm just going to call everything that someone drives on a racism. Like what? I just cannot. $100 says the new bridge will be painted black and with rainbow sidewalks. Likely. Yep. I just don't like these people don't belong in power. They don't. But they continue to elect them and think that they're doing good. People think that Pete's doing a good job. I guess. I don't know. I honestly forgot that he was the head of transportation. Pride flags, yes. Someone should have been like, but this is more. Yeah. There's nothing to say to that. There's nothing to say to that than it's actual insanity. It's something that was rehearsed. It was something that like someone else other than him came up with because they thought, oh, this is the right thing to say. And honestly, I think it's more in line with what I just said. I think Pete wanted a job that was way more important. And this is what he settled on. Like, oh, go fix the roads. And he's like, well, I'm going to make a difference here because, there's racism happening. It's the roads. How was this more cringe than the conspiracy theory from earlier? The conspiracy theory thing was based as fuck, dude. This is awful. Maybe named George Floyd Trayvon Martin overpasses. I mean, that's how you really could you could solve it all right there. People may have died, and this is his response. Politicians back in the day had more class and self-respect. And that's the thing, is like, and Charles, you said it, man. Like, I think that right there, I mean, he could have said it at some point, but like to him, like a lot of the focal point is like, well, we got to rebuild this bridge because racism is what allowed it to collapse. It's like, no, that's not even close to what, dude? Yo, Camelot, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. It should, like, you can't argue with stupid, right? These people are through and through dumb, and like even this is a grift. Even Pete getting up there is basically a grift. It's a race hustle. Oh, hold on, y'all. There we go. That's what happens when you get kids, man. Boomer. Hey. I don't know. It wouldn't be a cast without muting. A press conference to announce he has a further 3-month paternity leave. I wish. The little guy woke up and he wanted to sleep with the cat. But yeah, this whole, I mean, people in general, the stuff that's happening with it all, it's dumb. And it's clear that the everything that Buttigieg is doing is a hustle. It's a race hustle. It's meant, and I think Diana said it, is meant to divide and conquer people. It's meant to convince people that, oh yeah, like it's racism is responsible for it. Like they're building these bridges wrong in these neighborhoods. Like they're so right. Like, and that's what I mean. Like these cultural influencers that Clifton was talking about, like it's all falling apart for them because the more they say shit like that, the more regular people are like, no, that's not how it goes. That's not what's happening. That's not the reason that bridge fell apart. This is what I want to say to you guys. I love you guys. My little one just started crying out there. He needs me. I'm going to go snuggle up with him, and I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow night on the midweek hump. We have Brahma Bull that's going to come hang out with us tomorrow. We're starting at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you guys come on out, hang out with us. I love all of you. You guys are awesome. But duty calls. I got to get to my thing. I'll see you guys very soon. Be good. See you next time.
I like to put stuff online.